Hey everyone, Ashmere here with Nuts and Bolts. So we're starting a new segment called Quarantales, and I thought it would be cool to just get an inside look on the NBS team and see how they've been coping through the entire COVID situation. I know we're about 70 days into it, but some places are starting to open up, so I thought it'd be great to learn how people had adjusted for that time period, and if they're still closed like I am in the Bay Area, how they're still dealing with it. So first, we're going to start with Joe Cardoso, CEO of Nuts and Bolts, and just hear about how he's been in the East Coast and, what he's looking forward to, because he had just informed me his county is about to open. So yeah. Hey, Joe.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Can't complain too much.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to check in and see, when all the COVID situation started, let's first take a step back and talk about, your role, obviously CEO of Nuts and Bolts, and just a little bit of background on how that started.
Oh, wow. We have enough time. This is the 5th year for Nuts and Bolts Sports. The short version of the story started off as a podcast with some of my roommates I was living with in North Carolina at the time. It's a 30-minute podcast talking about the NFL. 30 minutes kind of went to 45, then an hour. Friends started hearing about the show, wanted to come on as well and just talk and share their opinion on the NFL. And then when the show started becoming like an hour and a half, I started thinking about, hey, it would be kind of cool to have a website to talk about sports as well. I was lucky that one of the hosts I had in the show, his girlfriend was really proficient in WordPress, and she was able to put together a website for me. I kind of went old school guerrilla type of kind of attack to get writers using like Twitter, Facebook. It's not real popular now, but it was really popular back then. Craigslist, putting ads on different cities. Like I think I did like LA, New York, and Houston. Hey, starting a website about sports. If you've ever dreamed about being a writer and were looking for an opportunity, this might be for you. And you fast forward now, 2020, 5 years in, almost 30 people on staff, if you count writers and support. And it's just been awesome. It's been a really hell of a ride. I'm excited to see what's next.
Cool. Okay. So let's go back 70 days in time. When you heard that, there was an order in place for everybody to stay home, what was your original reaction and how were you feeling?
Well, my original reaction was kind of like some other people, because I didn't have all the information. I thought this is just a really aggressive flu. It's going to blow by. It's not going to be a big deal. People are blowing out of proportion. And also, too, on the business side of things, it was a big opportunity and a big moment for Nuts and Bolts Sports. We had yourself, who was going to be going to Los Angeles to cover the Elite Eight, Sweet 16. We had people in New York that were going to cover the March Madness and the Big East tournament in New York. I myself was going to Atlanta for the Final Four, which is a huge event. It was going to be a big time event. So of course, I'm thinking like, man, this can't be as bad as they say it's going to be. Give it a couple of days, it will blow by. And of course, we all saw what happened as we started. Tournament games being canceled mid-game. It was like every hour something different was happening. And then once they canceled everything and the stay-at-home order was issued, for me, it kind of hit me like, wow, this thing is not just an aggressive flu, it's something serious. And of course, we saw how serious it is. I think we're over 100,000 cases. Tons of people across the country and across the world have just passed away. It's been a real horrible scene.
Yeah, I agree. I know when it happened here, my company, there was a case that was revealed and immediately everybody ran home. And the initial reaction from my major supervisor was just kind of like, hey, you know what? We know today was a scare. We'll expect everybody back on Monday. And then 24 hours later, boom, the governor closed California. So the way that this quickly changed within minutes, I completely agree. So what did you have to change in your home style? Did you start ordering food from a delivery service, or what changed for you?
Yeah, a lot of DoorDash, a lot of I forgot the name of the company is called. I think it's called like Shop Clips or Clip Shop, where basically you just make your shopping list, tell them what you want, and then one of their drivers will drive out to your house and give you all the groceries you want, leave them at your doorstep. So I started using that service a lot, cooking a lot at home, obviously, because I'm a big being in the restaurant industry. I'm a big restaurant guy. I like to go out to eat. Of course, like anybody else, happy hour is my jam. All that was gone. So having to just kind of change the way you move, and obviously being safe and keeping safety top of mind, having family members, including my mom, they're in the medical field for years. I've always been taught sanitize, germs, everything is dangerous. So I had to kind of up my germ keep as far as like wipes, sanitizer. The funniest thing was not funny, but the hardest thing to get was masks. Just finding a mask, able to order them was such a big deal. I mean, it took me forever to finally find one, and only now am I starting to see places I couldn't find one at before now are restocked and they're able to get some. I think I have like 7 now that I have, so I'm stocked up now. But initially, that was the hardest thing on the earth to find, was just finding masks and sanitizer. It was near impossible.
So was toilet paper out of stock for you too, or was that just the bay?
Well, I'm gonna give you a little insight on that. That's when it's great to work in the restaurant business, because all I had to do was just go to work. We keep a huge stockpile. Hey, pull the car around back. Let me get 5 or 6 of these, 4 or 5 of that. I had no shame. I told my employees, "You guys do what you got to do. Like if you see the boss doing it, come on now. You guys do what you got to do." I didn't see anything. You need toilet paper. You need paper towels. I was in the office. Do what you got to do. Water, bottled water. Do what you got to do. I mean, it wasn't time to be that guy. Wait a minute, you can't do that. Like, people are desperate, man.
But in the stores, did you notice? Was there a shortage?
Nothing at all. People on Facebook posting where they found it with a picture of the shelves, and people trying to fly over. Oh yeah, people trying to drive over there as fast as they can to get it before they run out. It's craziness. Crazy.
Yeah, I agree. So for you, now that your county is about to open up, how are you feeling? Do you feel like it's a little too early? Are you agreeing with that, or?
I've kind of, through the whole process of this thing, I've become a guy that I'm going to trust the science and the scientists. I don't really care what the politicians say, what the talking heads on TV say, unless it says like PhD or doctor, whatever. You're a doctor at this place. I'm not listening to what you have to say. So I kind of feel like they kept on telling us that you have to flatten the curve. And I think we've done that. Do I think it's too early? I do a little bit. And I know for me, myself, it's going to be a while before you see me like tagging myself in a restaurant or going out and doing things. I'm thinking maybe like the end of this month. Like, I know it's coming June now, maybe the end of June, I might feel more comfortable to go out and do things and be out and about. But I think until then, I've gotten used to the whole being a homebody thing. So I'm not really in a rush to get out, especially if I don't think I feel safe.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm going to wait this month out too. I mean, California's still closed, so I don't have an option. But some places in my area are slowly turning to phase 2. But I'm thinking the same thing. I'm going to wait till June, obviously till the end of 4th of July week, probably till then, because, why not? It's going to be crazy. Just like Memorial Day weekend was crazy here. I suspect it was the same. Yeah. So were you ever stir crazy at some point where you're just like, man, I have to get out of here. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I need to do something?
Yeah, I definitely did. Especially, it's funny you asked that. Today's the last day of my 9-day vacation. And somebody asked, like, what have you been doing? And I was like, to be honest with you, it's been a couple hours upstairs watching TV. Then I make the magical trip to the basement and watch TV downstairs, working on things as far as the business and sports, and kind of trying to get better at different things, software and apps I've always been interested in using. Plenty of time to kind of teach myself how to use those things. But yeah, I definitely had moments where I was like, you're on vacation. You're supposed to be out doing things. So, I mean, it sounds lame, but you got to do what you got to do. I said that probably the funnest thing I was doing was I made it a point. I haven't done it yet today, but I made it a point at least once a day, just get in the car and drive. Even if it's like 20 minutes, drive down to a certain point, make a U-turn, and then drive back home, whether it's listening to a podcast, listen to some music, just something to get out of the house, get out and about. My friends kind of got me back on my fitness thing. It's been a while, so I've been doing that as well too, running or walking. They say running, walking, trying to get exercise in. So I mean, yeah, I had a couple moments where I was like, I can't be in here all day. Like, I think the 3rd day of vacation, I was like, a 3rd day of being in the house all day long. Like, I can't do it. God bless you all that have been doing this for months. I couldn't do it. No way.
So when we found out that sports was on pause essentially, and the NBA stopped the season and everything, how were you feeling once you found out that there weren't going to be sports for, now we're on 75 days?
Oh my gosh, it was so hard. I mean, obviously, it's not even about nuts and bolts sports. Being a sports fan in general, it was just really, really tough, especially when you thought about all the things you're missing, like baseball opening day, not having a March Madness was insane to me. I like basketball, whether it's male or females playing. So I wanted to see what were the Oregon Ducks going to do. Was Sabrina going to take those girls all the way and they were going to win a national championship? You never find out about that. The NBA season was just starting to hit its stride, I believe, like the Clippers, the Lakers, the Battle of LA. where the Philadelphia 76ers are going to be able to get it together and make a real run in the East. Just so many different storylines that you didn't get a chance to see at all. And then obviously not having that escape with all the craziness going on in the world. I mean, think about what's happening just this week alone. You knew you had that 3.5 hours where you could just kind of forget about everything momentarily and just watch sports, talk about sports. And to have that taken away, it definitely made me personally realize how much of a big part of my life sports is. I definitely felt like I was missing a big part of what makes my life pretty cool at sports.
So how do you feel hearing that the NBA is going to return in the end of July?
My big thing, once I realized, like I said earlier, that this was not a bad version of the flu, it was a serious global pandemic, is as long as they're doing whatever it needs to be done to make it as safe as possible, I'm all for it. I think that the season should continue on. I'll be selfish and say we need it as sports fans, as people that run sports companies. We need that escape. We need that entertainment. But my biggest thing is I don't need that entertainment at the expense of someone getting sick or someone playing a game and going to their family and getting sick because Joe just had to see the Yankees play. Like, it's not that serious. If we can make it 70 days or 75 days, we can make it to the end of the year. Would it suck? Absolutely. But I think we'll be all right, and we'd be better people for it.
Okay, and lastly, what do you think the NFL is going to do after they watch how the NBA is slowly coming back? Do you think they're going to copy the same procedures that they're putting in place? Or I know they have a little more time. August isn't that far, but it's a little bit farther. So
I get the vibe from the NFL that nothing's going to stop them. I mean, these guys just been full steam ahead. I mean, besides making the alteration, obviously, of not having the draft in Vegas, it just seems like Roger Goodell and the owners are like just pushing this thing forward. And I think there's a lot of things probably going on behind the scenes the NFL's doing, wouldn't even know about. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see face masks that somehow protects you from having your breath going on your opponent or something. There's probably all kinds of things going on in the background because people forget, yes, the NBA and MLB have lots of money, but the NFL is a $1 billion industry. It's the big cash cow. So I would not be surprised there's like 10 different scenarios being played out right now by the NFL wouldn't even know about. So I think the season will start as always. But do I think it's going to be 65,000 fans in the stands? I don't think that's going to happen at all because you still have to follow whatever state you're in's health protocols. So I think you'll have football, but I don't think you're going to see sold out arenas. And I wonder if people even want to go to that.
I mean, I don't, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm kind of wishy-washy. Somebody asked me that the other day, are you still, if somebody told you tomorrow that the Lakers are playing the Wizards, would you go to the game? I think I would. I'd take my mask and a nice bottle of sanitizer, but I'd go. I think so.
Okay.
Tomorrow I might have a different answer, but today I'd go.
Okay. That's because you've been in the house for 9 days. You'll go anywhere.
Exactly, yeah.
What is the first thing after the month grace period you're allowing yourself, which I like? What are you going to do, or where are you going to go? What's kind of your COVID release plan?
Well, that's a good question, man. I'd say at a friend's house to hang out. I have a lot of friends that we've been doing the Zoom happy hour and talking on the phone and texting. I'm sure we'll pick one central place. It's going to be someone's house. I doubt it will be a public place. I doubt we'll go to a bar or a restaurant, but somebody will have a cookout or a barbecue of some kind. Just looking forward to talking to friends, hanging out in person.
Yeah, I agree. Me too. I've been with my family this whole time.
I think I'm almost virtual now.
Yeah. It's a lot of screen time.
Yeah. I looked at my phone the other day and I was like, God, you're such a loser. What are you doing with your life?
Okay, well, cool. Thanks for taking me, into your day-to-day and how you've been doing with this situation. And I hope you just stay safe and take care of yourself. And I know everything's opening up for you slowly, so have fun in the best way possible.
Definitely will. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Bye, Joe.
Adios.